iOS reviews. Today we're doing a quick comparison video of the Samsung Galaxy S21 versus the Samsung Galaxy S9. Now I know it seems pretty obvious with the 3-year gap between the two, but it's more just to see what they've changed and how big that gap is. The Samsung Galaxy S21 here on the left, that was released January 2021, and the S9 was released February 2018. The first thing you'll notice is that the S21 is slightly bigger, however it is also slightly thinner. Not noticeable if I'm being honest, but it is thinner. The S21 does weigh a bit more, only 6 grams more. Also the screen size between the two, even though it's only millimeters in the size difference, it is actually quite a big screen difference, sort of when you look at the screens actually together, mainly because of the bezels on the S9. So the S21 has a 6.2 inch screen as opposed to the 5.8 on the S9, so you are getting a bigger screen. Both screens are AMOLED HDR screens, with the S9 actually has the better resolution screen, with this being a 1440p screen as opposed to the 1080p screen on the S21. Now you might think that's quite a significant downgrade, but I think screens sort of this size, I don't think it makes too much of a difference at all. The S21 does have a pixel density of 421 pixels per inch, which is more than good enough to me certainly. So I can't tell the difference between the two resolution wise. The S21 does, however, it does have a refresh rate up to 120 Hz, which is it's quite impressive really. It's probably more useful if you're going to game on your phone, maybe not to the sort of average phone user. It's probably not going to sort of benefit you in any way there. Both of the phones have got the Gorilla Glass, just the S21 has the latest version. They're both IP68 rated, so they're both water and dust resistant. The S21, this is a bit of an obvious one, but the S21 obviously does have a better chipset than the S9. It's 3 years newer, so that's obvious. I won't go into the details of that too much. On to the next thing is sort of the memory. The S21 does actually have twice as much RAM as the S9, so this has 8 GB of RAM and that has 4. Storage, now there's quite a difference between the two in storage wise. I think the S9 storage ranged from 64 to 256 gigabytes, whereas 21 is 128 to 256. However, you can expand your memory using a micro SD on the S9, but you cannot on the S21. So you are stuck with the storage, the internal storage it has, or to use cloud storage. The S21 is obviously a 5G phone. We're in a 5G world now, so that is a 5G phone, whereas this is obviously 4G or LTE. They both got Bluetooth 5. The S21 has a newer version of Wi-Fi and has a later version of USB as well. I think it's USB 3.2. It also, noticeably, if you look at the bottom here, you will notice that there is no 3.5mm jack on the S21. So if you are wanting to put earphones in, you're going to have to resort to wireless earphones. Onto the back, looking at the cameras, there's quite a difference. Obviously there's one camera on the S9 and 3 on the S21. The single camera on the S9 is a 12 megapixel wide angle, and then you've got your 3 cameras on the 21, which is a ultra wide angle at the top. The middle one is a 12 megapixel wide angle, and then you've got the 64 megapixel telephoto at the bottom there. Front facing cameras, we've got a 8 megapixel on the S9, so they have upgraded it to a 10 megapixel on the S21. It's quite a difference. I think the camera is a lot better. This front facing camera is a lot better on the S21 now. The next thing I'm going to go to is the fingerprint sensor. The S9 had it on its back here, whereas technology's moved on since, and they've actually put these sensor in the screen. So if I tap here, you'll see there that sort of indicates where the sensor is. So not to use just fingerprint sensor, you just touch it on the screen like so, and that unlocks it. Other things, the battery, that's quite significant between the two. This has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, whereas the S9 only had a 3,000. That is something that I've noticed. Sort of the biggest between these two is the battery life, but that's kind of obvious with this battery size. But also with this being 3 years old now, it's obviously the battery's going to have worn and not be as efficient as it was. This S9, charging wise, it did fast charge, if you like to call it, up to 15 watts, whereas now the S21 here does fast charge up to 25 watts. They're both wireless charge, but I think the S21 wireless charges to 15 watts and the S9 wireless charges to 10 watts. Sort of in comparison as a whole, the S21 was obviously going to stack up better against the 3-year-old S9, but how much better, and does it warrant an upgrade from the previous Samsung phone? I think that depends. The S9 and the S10, I'd probably certainly say yes, it does. There is enough of an upgrade here. It's noticeable, but if you're upgrading from the S21, it's maybe not justifiable, or maybe not that much of a difference. But yeah, that's all. I just wanted to do a comparison video between the two, so I hope you enjoyed that. Go check out my other video of the S21 unboxing and the Spigen S21 phone case as well. Thanks for watching.